Okie dokie. Today, we're going to learn about a legend that has been passed down through generations. There's a story about a spirit that is thought to be the ghost of a person who stole oil and then fled into the woods. This ghost, with its naturally round head and piercing gaze, is called the Abura Sumashi. It is born out of guilt and remorse. The spirit's story is one of punishment and transformation. In the misty mountain passes of Kumamoto Prefecture, the mist curls around ancient trees and craggy rocks. It hides more than just the terrain. Here, in the secluded mountain paths, the whispers of the locals speak of a spirit known as Abura Sumashi. In the dim light of dusk, when the sun is dipped below the horizon and the night begins its slow creep, the atmosphere changes. The once serene forest takes on an eerie hush. It's during these dark nights, when the wind whistles through the trees, that the tales of Abura Sumashi make their rounds. This is when the villagers hunker down in their homes, sharing stories in hushed tones, glancing warily at the forest edges, as if the spirit might emerge from the darkness at any moment. Abura Sumashi is no ordinary ghost. With an unnaturally large round head, it is said to haunt these mountains, lurking in the shadows, waiting. To the villagers of Kumamoto, this spirit is a deeply ingrained element of their folklore. They say that if you listen closely, sometimes you can hear faint, almost imperceptible whispers carried by the wind, a spectral presence observing the living, bound to these mountains by an ancient curse. As the night deepens, every rustle of leaves and every snap of a twig seems to carry the weight of the legends spoken around hearths and fires. Walking these paths alone under the cloak of darkness requires more than just courage. It requires a respectful nod to the unseen, a recognition of the age-old stories that breathe life into the very ground. For here in Kumamoto Prefecture, Abura Sumashi isn't just a story, it's a living, whispering reminder of the past waiting to be noticed. In ancient Japan, oil was not just a mere commodity, it was a precious resource, integral to daily life for lighting and various other uses. Stealing oil was considered a grievous offense due to its value and necessity. According to legend, the punishment for such a theft was severe and otherworldly. The culprit, burdened by the weight of their crime, was transformed into the Abura Sumashi. This spirit, with its grotesque large head, embodied the immense guilt and remorse that the thief carried. The transformation served as a poignant symbol, a reminder that actions driven by greed always come with a heavy, inescapable burden. In some versions of the Abura Sumashi legend, the transformation of the oil thief into a spirit is attributed to the forest spirits, or kami. These ancient deities were believed to oversee and protect natural elements, ensuring that the balance of nature remained intact. When the thief disrupted this balance by stealing oil, the forest spirits took it upon themselves to exact retribution. The act of turning the thief into the Abura Sumashi was not just a punishment, it was a profound statement about the interconnectedness of human actions in the natural world. The legend makes it clear that nothing in nature exists in isolation. Every action has a ripple effect, impacting the broader ecosystem. This transformation serves as a powerful cautionary tale about the importance of respecting natural resources and recognizing the delicate harmony that sustains both nature and human communities. By becoming the Abura Sumashi, the thief's story is a continual reminder of the profound consequences that come with upsetting this fragile balance. In a small village nestled in the verdant mountains of Kumamoto, there lived a man whose name became synonymous with greed and deceit. This man, known to the villagers as Taro, harbored an insatiable desire for wealth, a desire that led him to commit countless thefts under the cloak of night. His favorite target was oil, which was a precious commodity in those times. It was essential for lighting lamps and cooking. Taro's cunning and audacity knew no bounds, and each night he would stealthily make his way through the village, siphoning oil from the villagers' stores. And for a while, his crimes went unnoticed. But as the nights wore on and the villagers' oil supplies dwindled, suspicion grew. The villagers who depended on the oil to light their homes and cook their meals found themselves plunged into darkness and despair. Anger and frustration festered, but no one could catch the thief. One moonless night, after another successful heist, Taro felt a surge of triumph. He had once again outsmarted the villagers, and his stolen bounty was secure. However, as he made his way into the forest to hide his loot, a strange and eerie silence enveloped him. The usual sounds of the night, crickets chirping, leaves rustling, vanished. It was replaced by an unsettling stillness. Taro's triumph turned to unease, and he quickened his pace, seeking refuge deeper within the forest. And unbeknownst to Taro, the forest was alive with spirits, the kami who guarded the natural world and maintained balance. These spirits had watched his misdeeds with growing anger. The repeated thefts had not only harmed the villagers, but also disrupted the harmony of the forest. On this fateful night, the spirits decided it was time to act. As Taro ventured further into the woods, the air grew heavy and a thick fog rolled in, obscuring his path. Panic set in, and he stumbled, the stolen oil spilling from his containers and seeping into the earth. The fog thickened, and through the murk, Taro saw flickering shapes, figures made of mist and shadow, eyes glinting with an otherworldly light. The spirits had finally come for him. These four spirits were angered by Taro's greed and disrespect, and so they encircled him, chanting in a language as old as the mountains themselves, their voices rising in a haunting crescendo. Taro, frozen with fear, could only watch as the spirits wove their magic. His body began to change, his head swelling grotesquely until it was disproportionate to his small frame. His features twisted and contorted, and he felt an unbearable weight settle upon him, the weight of his guilt and the burden of his crimes. Transformed into the Abura Sumashi, Taro's days as a man of greed were over, and from that moment on, he was doomed to wander the remote mountain passes of Kumamoto, his large, grotesque head a constant reminder of his transgressions. The once cunning thief now moved silently through the forest, watching travelers with mournful eyes. He can no longer steal or harm, bound by the spirit's curse to serve as a silent sentinel of the mountains. The villagers soon noticed a change in the forest. The thefts stopped, and an eerie calm settled over the village. Tales of a strange figure with a large head began to spread. Travelers reported seeing the Abura Sumashi watching them from the shadows, its presence both unsettling and oddly protective. The villagers, realizing what had happened, began to leave small offerings of oil at the forest's edge, not out of fear, but as a gesture of respect and remembrance. When it comes to the appearance of the Abura Sumashi, one cannot overlook its most distinguishing feature, the large round head that seems almost too big for its small human-like body. This characteristic is more than just a physical anomaly. It serves as a haunting symbol of the immense guilt and remorse carried by the spirit. Traditional depictions often emphasize this overwhelming head, making it seem as if it's weighing down the spirit, reflecting the heavy burden of its past misdeeds. The visual impact of Abura Sumashi's disproportionate figure ensures that the story of this ghostly being remains etched in the minds of those who hear it, constantly reminding them of the consequences of theft and the weight of unrepentant guilt. The large head of the Abura Sumashi is not just for show. It symbolizes the intense guilt and regret the thief feels. The Abura Sumashi is said to reside in the remote mountain passes of Kumamoto Prefecture, where its eerie presence adds an air of mystery to the already haunting landscape. Often encountered on misty or foggy nights, this enigmatic spirit silently watches over the travelers who dare to traverse its territory. It's one of these quiet, ethereal moments that the spirit makes itself known, a spectral reminder of the heavy consequences that follow theft. The Abura Sumashi doesn't need to speak or act. Its mere presence is enough to serve as a cautionary tale for those who might consider taking what is not rightfully theirs. For those who know the legend, each step through the fog-laden paths is a poignant reminder of the burden of guilt and the severe repercussions that accompany it. While the Abura Sumashi might appear unsettling with its grotesque head and haunting presence, it's essential to note that this spirit does not actively seek to harm anyone. It serves as a silent observer, its watchful eyes a constant reminder of the moral weight theft carries. As travelers pass through its territory, the presence of the Abura Sumashi reinforces a sense of guilt and contemplation on the consequences of their action. This spectral figure stands as a ghostly testament to the profound impact of exploiting valuable resources. In its silence, the Abura Sumashi speaks volumes. The Abura Sumashi may be depicted as a silent observer and a symbol of guilt, but some tales elevate its role to that of a guardian spirit of the forest. The spirit is entrusted with the sacred duty of protecting the natural resources and maintaining the delicate balance of its environment. The Abura Sumashi's presence instills a sense of reverence and fear, reminding people of the sacredness of nature and the consequences of exploiting it. This added layer of responsibility amplifies its significance, portraying the Abura Sumashi not just as a reminder of past wrongs, but as a proactive guardian defending the natural world from further harm. The Abura Sumashi is also an elusive spirit, capable of making itself invisible at will. This ability to vanish from sight adds to the mysterious and otherworldly nature of the spirit. It allows the Abura Sumashi to observe travelers without being seen. This ability makes encounters with this spirit even more chilling, as it can appear and disappear in the blink of an eye, leaving those who sense its presence questioning their own perceptions and the eerie tales that they've heard. And across different regions within Kumamoto Prefecture, The Abura Sumashi legend varies in intriguing ways. In some locations, the spirit is depicted more compassionately, offering assistance to lost travelers who find themselves wandering the dense, enigmatic forests. These tales suggest that the Abura Sumashi, despite its punishing origins, has a nurturing side as well. But there's a compelling condition. The travelers must show genuine respect for the forest and its inhabitants. This respectful interaction underscores a central theme in Japanese folklore, the profound reverence for nature. So, the Abura Sumashi not only embodies the consequences of past misdeeds, it also reinforces the values of respect and harmony within the natural world.
All right, that's all I got for today. Thanks for listening. If you like it, hit that subscribe button for us. If you don't like it, that's okay too. Other than that, have a great day.